Is going on, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam. I hope everyone is doing fantastic. Hope you guys have had a great Tuesday. Week 15 is finally here. We are into the first round of the 2024 fantasy football playoffs. I mean, it's here. This season flew by, and win or you're out, ladies and gentlemen. So you know exactly what we need to do. We're going to hop into some live fantasy Q&A. Anything that you guys need, start sits. We still have waivers active and out there. And there's not a lot out there, depending on your league. There might be more, but waiver questions, welcome. If you guys don't have a trade deadline, trade questions, welcome. Whatever you guys need, roster reviews, you guys know what it is. We're going to get ready for the first round of the fantasy playoffs. And don't forget, guys, there might be a prize if you win your toilet bowl. There's still usually a prize for second and third place. You can always ruin your buddies' I don't know, hopes of getting second or third place. So just, there's always something to play for. You should always, each and every week, try and set the best possible lineups. So let's win some matchups this week in week 15. And let's get it going, ladies and gentlemen. Pete's in the house. What's up, bro?
I just got one thing to say.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
We got playoffs, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, it's weird round one. I know some of you had, goofy leagues last week where you were in the playoffs. Tommy, I know, left a comment. He lost in his home league, rip. But we got playoffs. Let's get it going. Tough week. No more buys. Only 4 weeks left in the NFL season, 3 weeks left in the fantasy season. I'm excited. Let's get on into it.
I'm pumped. This is when things start heating up. We have, in terms of real life football, we have the pre-playoffs. We're starting to get actual playoffs set here. And it's not as tough of a week as last week. We got no teams on bye week, obviously. But like I said, waivers are a little bit thin, but of course it's all league dependent. So we start to look through here. We got a short week, of course. We have a Thursday night game, Rams and Niners. And Isaac Garando, maybe a week 15 or week 14 winner for you. Sprained foot. The Niners are obviously cursed. So I guess you can play Patrick Taylor this week if you need to. I don't think Garando's going to play. He says he's fine and everything, but
it's hard on a Thursday. Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but I don't feel overly confident there. Decent matchup. Rams have given up the 20th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. So we'll see what happens. But Patrick Taylor, I guess that's the thing. Unless you're in a deep format, do you really need to start Patrick Taylor this week? I guess we'll find out. George Pickens. I do want to talk about George Pickens, looking at the news here before we start to get into fantasy questions for the night. So George Pickens is not going to play this week. It's basically already been called. And this hamstring injury, from what I've read, is the same degree of a hamstring injury that Mike Evans suffered, that forced Mike Evans to miss 4 games. So I'm pretty worried about George Pickens because that would basically make him useless through the fantasy playoffs. So don't quote me and drop George Pickens the second, but I'm in a league that's a super flex format, double, we have 2 flex spots and a super flex spot and just 4 bench spots. And George Pickens a key piece of my team. And I'm about to drop George Pickens in that league because there's decent waiver options because there's only 4 bench spots. But I'm concerned about George Pickens and George Pickens owners. I think the Steelers are downplaying this from a strategic sense to confuse their opponents, But the other part of that is there's no other wide receivers on this team. They all suck. So like Russell Wilson's value kind of goes out the window here as well. And he's been a streaming option. So if you're a George Pickens owner, let us know what you guys think. But I'm a little concerned there. KJ Osborne is no longer going to be a Patriot if anyone cares.
Yeah.
Maybe he goes back to the Vikings.
No, please, God, no. I saw Viking fans asking for it. No, he can't catch. We already have a third receiver who drops the ball sometimes. We don't need anything. We're perfect.
I like me some Jalen Naylor.
This is a perfect team. We have a perfect quarterback. Everything's amazing. That's all that matters.
I will say there is some, every week there's good calls, there's bad calls. It is what it is. That's every channel, right? But my must-start quarterback last week was Sam Darnold. So
the revenge angle was not played up enough that Sam Darnold had the ball out. You know what? The offense has really just exploded in Minnesota since we signed Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes has changed the foundation of this team to be elite.
Now that I don't disagree with. I do want to also talk about this one. Will Dissly is going to be out for a few weeks for the Chargers. We already have Dobbins out until at least week 17. We got Ladd McConkey banged up, just up in the air, right? And then we got Herbert also a little bit banged up too. And I'm pretty worried about the Chargers. They have a good matchup this week against the Bucs for the most part. Herbert was already, not a great start this past week. And if Ladd McConkey doesn't play this week, I'm pretty worried about Justin Herbert again this week. I think Josh Palmer, Quinn Johnson can do some stuff against this Tampa Bay secondary, but I don't know if Herbert's really going to be a thing for the rest of the fantasy season. We've already seen 17 or less points in 3 straight games and 13 or less in 2 straight games. So J.K. Dobbins really important to this offense,
And of course he's scheduled to come back. He's like, I'm healthy. I'll be totally back, ready to go. Week 17. So fantasy championships, oh my Lord, what do I do with this piece of information here?
Yeah.
But it depends what QJ we're going to get. We got the good QJ on Sunday night. Wasn't quite enough. Palmer's, got his moments. So I don't know. They can't run the football without J.K. Dobbins. It's kind of crazy how bad they are.
Yeah.
With, where's Kamani Vidal? That was all the hype in the offseason. You guys don't even know. There's this third Chargers running back who's going to be a machine. And it's bad. It's just, I don't know. They're going to be winning 13-10 games, I think, until J.K. comes back.
Yeah, the defense is still good. We talked about this earlier, and you mentioned that. It is true. So, and they did just face 2 very difficult run defenses in Atlanta and Kansas City, to be fair. So, we'll see what happens. But I'm just hoping Ladd McConkey's back because then my worries are not as intense. Other than that, there's nothing made. I mean, we got Aiden O'Connell, Derek Carr,
Derek Carr just hand shattered.
Yeah, and apparently he also got a concussion potentially. I just saw that today, so I don't even know if that's true, but and then Aiden O'Connell is probably fine, so you don't need to worry if you're a Bowers or Myers owner. But yeah, we'll just have to sit back and kind of see. But outside of that, that's about it. Jonathan Brooks, sad. Just sad, but okay, let's get into some fantasy questions. All right. Hope you guys are doing good. Get in the chat, guys. Drop a like, do all that good stuff. Let us know how you guys are doing. And let us know, did you guys make the playoffs? Where did you finish overall in your league? Are you sad? Are you happy? Are you angry? Are you a little bit of everything? I had a lot of best ball teams advance before any of you guys ask. I don't feel like pulling all of them up. And I probably won't even I looked through a couple, but I'm going to look after this week. Because there's, a lot of them are not going to advance from this week. It's just the nature of best ball on Underdog, right? But I did have quite a few advance in different tournaments and 4 in Best Ball Mania. And then I made the playoffs in 9 out of 16 leagues. I could have made it in 11 out of 16. I got knocked out of 2 leagues this past weekend. So, and all of those were Catch Fam leagues. So, congrats to those of you who helped kick me out. But
you knocked me out of a Catch Fam league as well this weekend, even though, records bad. Points were awesome, and I think it was Catch Fam too.
Yeah, that was
Sad day.
I had to beat Tommy, and I honestly thought Tommy was going to beat me, and that would have put you in, I believe.
Yeah, I would have been in on points.
Yeah, we talked about this last week's stream, right? That was
That day.
I don't know who I had somebody. I had Addison. It was Addison. Thank you. See a Viking. I see. That comes full circle, right? All right, let's get into it a bit. Drop Worthy or Rome for Taylor. I mean, it really comes down to your roster here. Do you need the running back? And even then, like, do we see some additional touches to Keyshawn Vaughn, or do they pull Izzy up from the practice squad? Does Garando play? Like, are you really going to have, like, do you need to start Taylor? These are the type of questions you have to ask. Sure, if you want to. I mean, are you starting Worthy? Are you starting Rome? Do you trust them? They both have good matchups this week. So, like, they're flexible players. They probably are safer than Patrick Taylor. But do you need the running back? Are you screwed at running back right now? You can make this move, but Rome Odunze, I don't trust him, but he just had a big game, and the Vikings are still giving up the second most fantasy points to wide receivers. And Xavier Worthy's been difficult to trust, to say the least, but the Browns are giving up the 28th most points to wide receivers. So if it's me, I'd probably just skip out on the Niners sweepstakes, because Patrick Taylor's probably going to break a kneecap this weekend or Thursday.
Just a cursed season for the Niners.
But I mean, it really just comes down to your roster, are you stacked at wide receiver? Are you never starting Worthy or Rome? Do you need a running back? These are the type of things that matter. It says bye week squad, stand up. I'm only in one league where I got a bye week. Your roster ain't set until you watch the catch. That's right. You put that on a t-shirt. Jacob Ridley or Mooney? I'm probably sticking with Ridley. I'll probably take the floor. I mean, Will Levis did look like ass this past week, so. But I think Ridley had 12 targets, so Nick Westbrook TD. Yeah.
Yeah, the million. I think he had 12 or 11.
Yeah, it is 12. I got it right here. And they're playing the Bengals.
They shut down the Cowboys, man. I saw it. That was an elite defensive performance by the Bengals.
Well, Lamb had a TD and Cooks had a TD. If Cooper Rush can throw 2 TDs on you, I mean, and the Cooper Rush been actually okay, I mean, Mooney is like a crapshoot every week. I know he had a big week this past week, but once again, the Vikings very allowing to wide receivers, and there's no touchdown upside right now at the Falcons wide receivers. I mean, 4 games, 0 TDs out of their quarterback. So, and the Raiders are not that bad against receivers, 16th. So, I'd go Ridley. Yeah. Hope the Bengals keep winning. I have the Burrow Chase stack. I mean, I think those two will be fine. It's more Higgins I worry about. That's really the only guy that I think there's an argument for, but we talked about this last week. They'll be fine. And I mean, I do hope they keep winning. It makes things interesting, and it's better for fantasy, sure. Flex DK or JT in full PPR. Now that's a tough one, but I lean Jonathan Taylor. I mean, he was still fine in his last start. Had 17.3 fantasy points. It is a tough matchup against the Broncos, though. And it's in Denver. It's a tough place to travel to. I just don't know about DK, man.
Yeah. They go to JSN. If they don't even throw the ball, and if they do, they go to JSN. The Seahawks are so weird. They're a weird team.
I mean, the targets have been okay. It's just it's not producing off of them. And the Packers are not that bad against receivers, 11th. So, I mean, the Broncos are 11th against running backs. I think the floor is safer JT, but you could risk it and go DK. It's really a coin flip. It's not really a great situation for both. Caesar, who should I start in my lineup in a 12-team full PPR? 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and a flex. Hall, Walker, Connor, B-Rob. I can tell you right now, I got more confidence in Connor and B-Rob than the first two. I think the first two are startable. And I mean, is Hall going to play? If he does play, are they going to give touches to Davis and Allen? It's a great matchup, but I will say B-Rob's going to make the must-start video this week. The Saints are awful against running backs. Like, you know, you had Drew Lock commanding the Giants this past week, and Tracy still had double digits, you know? So I like B-Rob a lot this week. And the Cardinals still going to be in these kind of competitive game scripts for the time being because they're still fighting for a playoff hope and dream. So I like those two, but don't be surprised if the other two outscore. And we got to pay attention to Hall's status as the week progresses because we don't have a real update on Breece Hall right now. So they're saying that they're not shutting him down, but we'll see.
We'll see. That's right.
Yeah. Neighbors, Evans, Debo, Higgins, Flowers. Yeah, I'm definitely going to flex a receiver. I like Flowers a lot this week. I think the Ravens are going to come out and have a big week. I do worry, like, how much are they really going to need to do, but not starting Debo. I mean, you want to drop Debo, go for it. I'd rather start like Adam Thielen, or I'd rather start Roman Dunze than Debo, you know? I'll go Neighbors. It's a good matchup for him.
Did Neighbors pay for that plane? That's the real question we're asking.
It may have. Man, this is tough. Oh, wait, 3 wide receivers in the flex. Oh, that helps. Neighbors, okay. Evans, Higgins, flex Flowers. Perfect. Connor B-Rob. Yeah. We'll go with that. What's going on, Derek? Garrett Wilson, Higgins, Reed, Shakir, J-Mo, start 2. Don't you just feel like Reed's going to have like 40 points this week? Everyone's going to bench him, you know.
Stupid.
I got a tough time benching Khalil Shakir. I've said it all season long. Because I will take that guy that's giving me the floor every week. What are the Jets going to do this week? I just don't know.
Zero idea. They can't run the football. That's all we know. It's like they really can't run the football.
And it's a good matchup. It's Wilson and Shakir or Higgins and Shakir, whichever combo you feel. And you want to go Wilson and Higgins, that's fine. But the Lions are not good against receivers. They're still banged up on defense. They're more banged up front. But I just really like Shakir. I think he's so safe. Or like Higgins could do what he did this past week, or he could have like 20 points, you know. That's tough, but it comes down to those 3 for sure. And J-Mo's not a bad start either. What's going on in Septivus? I made it to the playoffs, need some consistency at receiver. You got Higgins, CD, Adams, MH, Smith. Should I drop MH and Smith for Myers and Thielen? I will never advise dropping Devonta Smith. I don't know if you guys have watched this channel. So no. Now, Marvin, I've seen this question come up. Sure, you want to drop Marvin Harrison Jr. for Myers or Thielen, okay. But MH is still going to have some good games on the season. I mean, like, you have pretty good wide receivers, but I don't mind going out and getting one of the other 2. I actually saw this exact question posted earlier. Drop Marvin Harrison Jr. for Adam Thielen on Reddit. I mean, the Patriots is a good matchup this week. Panthers is tougher than you think. The Rams is okay too. So, but Thielen's got a pretty good schedule, if I remember correctly, and he does play Tampa Bay again in Week 17.
I mean, I think they play the Cowboys next week.
Yeah, and then they get Tampa Bay. So trust your gut, but I will say I would hold on to Devonta Smith. You know, people are not going to like that, but people didn't like when I called him a start this past week. I know it wasn't great, but he got you 13 points. You know, Pittsburgh, Washington, Dallas is not that bad of a season-ending schedule here. So, but I will be saying this a lot this week. Trust your gut. Don't let me or anyone else be your final indicator of what you do this week or next week or the following week. All right, Jonathan, we got Pete Taylor, McCormick, Allen, or Smith. Start one. I kind of lean Sincere McCormick, but Taylor's probably fine in this type of circumstance. And then like for Allen, like it comes down to Brees Hall's status. So, and why am I blanking on Smith? Is it maybe Isaiah Davis? No, I don't know. I don't know who Smith is. Maybe that's a typo, but I probably lean if Garando's out, then go Taylor. Like we don't know what's going on with the Raiders running back room. Like in the running back start sit video. It's like
Madison's supposed to like play last week. Like why? Like both of them don't play. I don't know what. Sincere McCormick's the only guy that's ever ran the football. It feels like this season for Vegas. Like he had a pretty good day against a good run defense.
Yeah, he's very efficient. So in the start sit video for the Raiders running, it's just question marks. Like I'm like, I mean, we got to wait until Sunday probably to know what's happening. But I do like McCormick this week. He's a good desperation play, but I do think if Madison plays, or maybe White will be back, and then like the Falcons are not that bad against the run. So, but Taylor's going to be dependent on Garando. So, and then like I still like Braylon Allen, but it depends. Does Brees Hall play? Brees Hall doesn't play. I'd probably go Braylon Allen because he gets the Jags. So a lot of variables. I got the bye. Who do I start in week 16? Allen and Burrow. I mean,
either.
Yeah. Allen, like, I think the fear, the FOMO is too high. Like, what if he's not going to do what he did last week again, but I mean, you can't go wrong. That's the good news. It's going to both have good game scripts because the Bengals are going to do whatever they can to win that game to the very end because they cannot lose another game. And the Bills are trying to get the number 1 seed, and it's a big game against Detroit. That's going to be a great game script. So you can't go wrong.
That's for week 16. So Bills have the Patriots in week 16. You need to start Josh. Yeah, you need to start Josh Allen. The Bengals play the Browns in Cincy. You need to play Josh Allen against the Patriots. Like the Patriots suck. They are terrible.
The Browns also kind of suck.
They do also kind of suck, but I could see the Bengals not scoring. Like, oh, Myles Garrett just like lives in that backfield and they can't throw the football all of a sudden because that offensive line is bad for Cincinnati. We saw Micah Parsons feasting yesterday.
Yeah, he's not very happy. I mean, in general, I still lean Josh Allen, but it's like, yeah, you're fine either way. Andrews and Njoku.
Against the Bengals. Pretty good.
Yeah, I probably would lean Njoku.
Ravens play Pittsburgh. They play Pittsburgh on a Saturday. I feel like I'm leaning Njoku there.
Yeah, give me Njoku. But I still like Andrews. Falcons, Ravens, hopefully Commanders. We're still looking at week 16, so I'm literally staring at it.
Falcons playing the Giants. That's okay. I mean, the Falcons defense kind of sucks. Like their secondary is bad.
Yeah, but they have these juicy matchups. I don't really like the Ravens against the Steelers.
I guess maybe if Pickens is out, that's a little bit tastier because they don't have much of a wide receiver core. And then the Commanders have the Eagles. I want zero part of that. They will run the football right at them.
Yeah, a few of those are like Commanders get Jake Haener this week. So that like the Ravens get Locke or DeVito, whoever's healthy. So I get that. And the Falcons are the best for week 16. You just stealing defenses from the teams is not on bye week, Oz? Because some of those aren't gonna roll over into week 16. The good news is you got great quarterbacks, tight ends, no matter what. Green Bay or Lions in week 16. Let me go back, scroll down a bit here. So Green Bay gets the Saints. So
yeah, I kind of like that with whoever's at quarterback.
Yeah.
Lions at the Bears. Do not like that matchup. Do not.
Yeah, like that's like they might have a floor, but like the Bears are not playing that bad offensively. A Green Bay all the way, whether it's Hayner or Rattler. Yeah, 100%. Wouldn't mind if McConkey's out again. My opponent's starting Herbert. That is fair. Barbara, start Love or Russ? Oh man, I gotta go Love just because Pickens not gonna play. I mean, yeah, it's got. I mean, it's got to be Love, and Love is not producing at a crazy high standard for fantasy, but it's got to be Love. What's going on, Tommy? Devastated. I got bounced first round of home playoffs. You need to really talk to your commissioner and figure out why in the world you guys are playing playoffs in week 14. And I'm sorry to anyone who your playoffs start in week 14 or they end in week 18, but you guys need to have a little chat with your league because these things are heinous. They should not be happening.
It's unforgivable.
Unforgivable. But I'm sorry to hear that, Tommy. It's my running backs right now. And after the bye week are Stevenson, Gibbs, Allen, ETN. I'd probably just roll with Gibbs and Stevenson out of these guys. Yeah. I mean, Allen, like, once again, if Hall doesn't play, but Stevenson, good matchup against the Cardinals. Gibbs, like, come on. Say no more. He's the RB3, I think. Let's see. D-Frogs, Knicks or Stafford? I'm starting Knicks this week against the Colts. It's a great matchup. He's a top 10 quarterback in fantasy. QB8. Stafford's fine, but I talked about this in the QB tight end video, which will drop after the stream. He's fine, but the Niners have still been pretty good against quarterbacks on the season. It's a short week. He does get to throw to Cup and Puka, and he has like 2 or more passing touchdowns in like his last 6 games, except for the Miami game. So we're fine, but I'm going Knicks. Why did Higgins have to suck? Yeah. They kind of just used him as a decoy, and it worked. But these things happen. Like, they don't care about our fantasy teams.
No,
So.
that was the big note on the Sunday lessons. They hate us. Coaches hate us.
Yeah. Pete put in the video. And, like, he had that one red zone target where he's one-on-one, but just wasn't quite there. It happens. Start 1 for wide receiver, 2 for the flex. Pickens is not playing. I mean, it's basically already official. So BTJ, Shakir, those are basically my answers. I can tell you off the top. Those are just 2 guys I don't bench. So I don't think Garando's going to play. It's half PPR. This is tough because if Breece Hall doesn't play, then in half PPR, I really like Braylon Allen. So I would go with him like over Shakir in half PPR. And then go BTJ. I don't think Garando's going to play. If Garando plays, I think you can roll with him here. But you only need a wide receiver. So I'll go BTJ. Shakir is who I prefer. But in half PPR, if you want to go with Allen, if Hall is out, that's fine. But I honestly think, regardless of scoring format, BTJ and Shakir are the best starts. So I'm excited for Catch Fam Leagues number 2 and 5 in playoffs. Let's go. Also in a 10-team league that I made playoffs, have Allen, Gibbs, A-Chain, Kyron, and Charbs. Very nice. By the way, guys, I'm sick, so just excuse me for the rest of the stream. Taylor has a major tight end issue, don't we all? Have Disley and Kincaid.
I don't have that issue.
Jawan, Calcaterra, Gray, Smart, Fant, Sanders, Bellinger. What's the move? It's not Calcaterra. He was streamable last week because he was playing the Panthers. It's got to be Jawan. And I hate that because he has essentially me if I put on a uniform throwing him.
I mean, maybe I don't know.
Do we
don't
know officially if it's
No.
Rattler or Hayner?
No, if it's Hayner, I think it's a lot worse than Rattler, but Rattler was pretty bad when he played earlier
I
this
know.
year.
I think they're leaning towards Hayner, but it's not official. I would take a chance on Jawan. I mean, maybe Noah Fant. Like he's had some. Actually, I just go Noah Gray. I'm sorry. Like he gives you the best shot, and he gives you probably the safest floor. I go Noah Gray. At least Mahomes is his quarterback. Jeff needs a wide receiver, a flex, and a running back. Dowdle, Chuba, Sutton, Ridley Myers, or BTJ. Chuba is your running back. I do like Dowdle, but you got to go Chuba. Just have to. You got to start Sutton. The last one is tough. But it could go any way here. I probably go Myers against the Falcons, but very close between them. Ridley, Myers, and BTJ. I still like Dowdle. I'll go Chuba, Sutton, Myers. Tommy, it was a good matchup. I thought you were going to beat me, but it was a good matchup, bro.
I needed that, Tommy, so you're now on the shit list. Get me out of the playoffs.
Addison and Rashad White saved me. And I think I had to start Chuba in that league, too. I was nervous about Chuba. Ravens or Steelers, D? I'm taking the Ravens for the upside, but the Steelers give you some sort of a floor, but I don't know. Against the Eagles, I'll go Ravens against the Giants. Otten or Hawkinson is a complete coin flip, but I'll go Otten. I still am worried about Hawkinson. He still hasn't been on the field for more than 68% of snaps in a single game. And Johnny Munt is healthy. John Oliver is healthy. I mean, these guys are studs. So
he just, I don't know. He looks a little out of shape. Hawk, when he plays, he looks tired. He looks beat up. Yeah. I don't know. We don't throw to tight ends, really.
Yeah.
But he did have his one good game was against Chicago. So.
That's true. That's true. It's a complete coin flip. And Auden had a good matchup this past week, and he led the team in receiving, believe it or not, but he only had 4 catches. So it could definitely go either way. It's not a great matchup for Auden, I'll say that much. Chase McLaughlin or get Sanders. I feel like I lean McLaughlin still. I feel like I always kind of lean McLaughlin.
McLaughlin's always, I mean, he's had a great year. Sanders has been pretty good, though, since Tua has come back. They've been kicking a decent amount of field goals.
He has been good.
Yeah, he had the big kick, obviously, to send it to overtime. Tough match, like Cleveland. I don't know what that weather's going to look like in Cleveland. Probably not. Sorry. I'm on week 16 still.
He gets week 17. Texans. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Yeah. That's a pretty good matchup. Texans defense is pretty bad, too. And it's in Houston indoors. McLaughlin, Chargers.
Yeah.
Kind of leans. I would say McLaughlin for the ceiling, Sanders for the safer floor.
Yeah, I changed my mind. I'm going Sanders.
He's really good.
But I guess you could always make that argument that the Chargers will
hold you to field goals. I just don't know if they're going to move the ball, Tampa Bay. Like, they kind of couldn't move the ball against Vegas in the middle of that game. That was a bizarre game.
It's a tough one.
Kickers are tough. Bad. Yeah, kickers are tough. I hate kickers. The worst.
No, you have to love kickers. You're not allowed to say that. Derek made playoffs in all 3 of my leagues. Definitely need some luck. We all need luck. I mean, that's the biggest part of it, right? Drop Nick Westbrook-Akini to get the Ravens. Excuse me. I had the Vikings.
The Vikings defense. Just play the Vikings defense. They're the best. They're going to get killed this week. The Bears are going to look amazing, I'm sure, on Monday night because we suck at Monday night. We suck at home. It's the Bears. They just got embarrassed. That's the Bears' last road win was at Minnesota last year. Yeah, I'm sure it'll just be a disaster waiting to happen for me.
Yeah, and I talked about this in the defense video. Like, I'm still fine with the Vikings. They just give you that floor, but they have had 7 or less points in 3 straight games, including 7 points against Chicago in week 12. So I could see the Bears playing just fine and the Vikings having like 7-ish points. I also see the Bears just having like a disastrous game, like this Vikings team really showing out. I mean, here's the thing. Are you ever going to start Nick Westbrook-Akine? Do you trust him after this past week? If the answer is no, then the Ravens give you more upside if you want it. But keep in mind, as much as I like the Ravens due to the matchup against Locke or DeVito, they have also not been a good defense this year. So, all right. Let's see. Any changes here on the bench? Wilson, Higgins, Baker, Connor, MH, Daniels, Brown, Moore, H.N. Kyron, Kittle, Flex, and Rashad White. That's right. I mean, this one's tough. You got good starts across the board. I will say I like Rashad a lot more if Bucky doesn't play. I think his ceiling's lower if Bucky plays. Either way, it's a tough matchup, but he has a skill set that can come through because he's the best running back in the league. I do think Wilson or Higgins gives you more upside if you want to flex one of them. I do think DJ Moore will bounce back this week. Good matchup for him. The Vikings suck. Just kidding. But they are bad against wide receivers.
It's just bad. They don't cover the path. They don't cover anybody. It's kind of crazy.
Now, AJ Brown, I mean, he hasn't come up tonight, but he's a little worrisome.
That whole team is now worrisome.
Yeah. I mean, the Eagles just don't throw the football. I mean, and they don't need to. Don't get me wrong, really. Although they kind of needed to this past week, and Hurts only had 108 passing yards. So, and you know what? They needed to the previous week too. And he only had 118 passing yards. So, I have a tough time benching AJ Brown still, and he still only has single digits twice this past year. But one of those games was this past week against the Panthers. Which Panthers are not that bad against receivers. I've said it 1,000 times, but they're at home. They get Pittsburgh, but just bear it in mind. Those are close calls with those receivers you got. All right, Dub Nation needs 2 running backs for wide receiver and a flex. Taylor, Dowdle, Walker, Stevenson, Tracy. I'm probably going Taylor and Dowdle. Dowdle gets the Panthers, so yeah. I like Dowdle a lot this week. He's just very safe. I'm still starting Lamb. If he's healthy, starting Lamb. Starting Neighbors. Call me crazy, but I'm flexing Addison over whoever's left here. I mean, Walker is he healthy? I don't know. Not a great matchup, not an awful matchup. Mooney, boomer bust. Stevenson, I think, could have a good week, but he's also kind of Tracy, bad matchup. Yeah. Give me Addison, Neighbors, Lamb, Dowdle, JT. Barbara, Jamar Chase literally won me my week, was able to get in the playoffs. Yeah. I believe the stat is if you have Jamar Chase, you had a 50% chance of making the playoffs. That is good. Saquon was also close to that number. Hunter or Ferguson? Matchup is with Ferguson. The floor is with Hunter. But Schoonmaker got 2 targets this past week. A little bit of involvement. But the Panthers give up the most points to tight ends. Broncos, Dallas, or Atlanta. Where did Dallas finish? Because they were really solid. I meant to check. 5 points. Okay, not good. I didn't think it was good, but they did. They had some turnovers. Broncos. Broncos for the floor. Atlanta for upside, but also risk. Is AJ Brown still a must start? Yeah, I'm going to say so. Should I take Green Bay, Arizona, Washington, Atlanta, or Seattle as my starting? Seattle's fine, but Like you get way like Washington's got a ton of upside. Washington might be one of my favorite streaming option this week. Seattle's definitely still very startable. But I don't know if they're going to give us that like high ceiling. I mean, they get the Packers, so Josh Jacobs probably going to have 3 touchdowns. I'll go Washington, then Atlanta. I'm risking it. I'm streaming. Drop Debo for Thielen. Yeah, do it. Do it. Do it now. Cardinals, Chiefs, Commanders. What do I need to do on this channel?
Chiefs D sucks. They're a bad fantasy defense, guys.
Yeah. Great real life defense. They are the defense 24 in fantasy. They have double digits once, and that was 13 weeks ago. Surprisingly against the Bengals, but
they scored a touchdown. That's why.
Right. I was going to say that, but I was like, whatever. But that's the only reason is because they scored a defensive touchdown. They're not a good fantasy defense. Now, like I'll say they're playing Jameis Winston. They could have 3 turnovers, but they're probably also going to give up 3 passing touchdowns, right?
Yeah, their secondary's been terrible, Kansas City. So they look bad against bad receivers and the Chargers. They still were getting torched. Like Jameis don't care. Jameis will throw 1,500 yards if he can.
Yeah, and they're banged up too. And Cedric Tillman might be back, so yeah, it's got to be the Commanders for me. And yes, drop Debo for Thielen right now. Can I play both JSN and DK, or would you sit DK? Nah, I'd just go JSN DK. They're the best plays here. I do think Nick Westbrook-Akine can bounce back because he's playing the Bengals. 10-man half PPR. Who should I start at flex? Myers, MH, Ramondre, or Tracy? Myers, as long as O'Connell plays. Atlanta's secondary sucks.
Awful.
Sucks.
Except for AJ Terrell. But AJ Terrell doesn't follow the best receiver. Like, they could it was just hilarious.
They're such a bad secondary. Stafford or Mayfield? I mean, Mayfield still, barely. But it's not a great matchup. But I said it last week. I just have a tough time. Like, he's still been the best quarterback. A lot of questions with Mayfield came out, and he's still been the best quarterback out of the quarterbacks that I'm being asked about. But Stafford's still very startable. If Mayfield had a better matchup, it would just be Mayfield. But
I think Baker's he looked a little hurt still last week.
Yeah, I agree.
He just kind of was a little off right there.
I agree. If you want to go Stafford, I'm definitely good with that.
Do not expect what we got last Sunday from Stafford.
Yeah. I mean, Chargers, the 9th fewest points, the Niners, the 12th fewest. So, like, it's not a huge difference. So it really comes down to your own confidence level. And maybe your confidence level is Puka and Cup, that's fine too. So Baltimore, KC, Washington, or Arizona. Baltimore or Washington, take the upside, take the defenses that are playing Tommy DeVito or Drew Lock and Jake Hader or Desmond or Spencer Rattler, whichever crappy quarterback it is. D-Hop or J-Mo. I mean, D-Hop's been fine. D-Hop for a floor, J-Mo for upside. I'll probably take J-Mo in a competitive matchup.
J-Mo, yeah. Bill's secondary just got torched. J-Mo's gonna.
Yeah, which is weird because they've been really good, but I mean, Puka and Cup made them look silly.
Oh, it's a good week to have Puka. Oh,
Puka. Play Tua, Knicks, or Purdy. Man, Tua tough to bench right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was gonna say the Knicks, but I think I gotta go Tua. I think I don't trust the Texans defense.
Texans have a bad secondary too.
Yeah, their secondary is trash. So give me Tua. He's like the QB2 over the past 4 weeks. Yeah. Maybe QB3, something like that. So
he doesn't turn the ball over. He throws touchdowns. He completes a million passes.
So. He's been very efficient. And Hill and Waddle have been good. And Johnny Smith is like he could catch no passes for 4 quarters and still get you double digits, you know?
Save the day
Yeah.
overtime.
I know. It's the overtime king. Purdy was really good this past week, and it's a great matchup for him too. And they're in a must-win situation. So I like all these guys, but I'm going to lean Tua. All are very good. Metcalf or Thielen? I'm going Thielen, man. I mean, I gotta go Thielen. Boswell or Fairbairn? Can't really go wrong, right?
I mean, Fairbairn, yeah, geez. Oh my God. They're my 2 start them every week guys. Those are the only 2 guys that have managed to start them every week. Maybe I lean a little bit Fairbairn because the Dolphins defense hasn't been very good lately. They're at home indoors. Pittsburgh's going to be at Philly. That's a crappy place to kick field goals. And the offense could really struggle without Pickens. That's my biggest concern is like they're just really, really bad on offense. But Boswell's going to bang 50-yarders outdoors, which is kind of crazy. I would lean Fairbairn for the safe play, Boswell for the ceiling, because he might kick 5 field goals.
100% agree. Myers, Addison, or Pacheco? Pacheco. What happened to you, man?
He's getting better, okay? He was not good week 1. He was better last week. He'll be better. You know, come like the championship round, he's going to put up a 30-burger.
He might. He was huge in the championship game. He won me my championship in the league last year. He did get the touches, and so he just doesn't have a great schedule to finish the year.
No.
Myers for a floor, Addison for upside.
Oh, big time. He had a huge game against the Bears too last time they played. He's feeling himself.
I will go. It's like these are 2 quarterbacks that I'm like, they're startable every single week, but you just don't know what you're gonna get. Who? I think I'll go Mahomes.
Lean Mahomes, yeah.
Because the Bills are really bad against the run. Like I know they just got torched and all, you know, through the air. But
Detroit's gonna want to run. They threw the ball a little bit too much against Green Bay, I think, and it almost killed them.
The Bills are giving up the 3rd most fantasy points to running backs. They've been bad all year against the run. I'll go Mahomes, but I could see Goff. You know, these more competitive game scripts like last week, Goff does benefit. It's very close. Goff maybe for the upside, but Goff could also give you like 13 points. You know?
The Goff picks are starting to worry. Like we might start seeing Goff pick season against good teams now.
Yeah, it's very close. What's going on? Run CMC, Burrow or Darnold? I mean,
you gotta go Joe Burrow. You gotta go Joe Burrow.
The year we're in. I think I do. I still lean Burrow. I mean, I've been very vocal about Darnold, especially over the past couple weeks. I'll still go Burrow. I'll go Andrews over Hawk and Ingram. Easy. Evans, Addison, AJ Brown. Ooh, that's tough. That one, tough. That's not good. Not ideal.
On paper, AJ Brown has the worst matchup.
Yeah. Not Evans?
No. Pittsburgh's defense is just like that kind of good.
Hold on, I'll pull up the
You gonna get me on technicalities over here?
Well, okay, Chargers are 17. No, you're right. Steelers are 7th against receivers, fantasy wise. So
yeah. And it feels like they're better against like number 1 receivers. Like they're maybe like the 2nd or 3rd receiver does something. I don't know. I'm worried. I think they're going to force the ball to AJ Brown and it's going to go really, really bad.
And the touchdown to Judy was kind of like a blown coverage this past week.
Yeah.
So, it's so tough. So tough. Where I'm taking it to the poll. Mike Evans versus the LA Chargers, who are 17th, or I want it to come down to those two.
Yeah, Addison's like kind of feels like a must start.
I know, like that's crazy that I think Addison and like I talked about this in the receiver video, and people are like, "The Bears suck." What are you talking? The Bears have allowed the 5th fewest fantasy points to wide receivers, and like they were bad this past week. Jennings torched them, and the last time Addison played them, he torched them. So I get it because I had Addison as a flex.
It's
but
because Jalen Johnson's good. Jalen Johnson can kind of
He is
take
good.
number one receivers out. But the way they covered Jefferson, they put 3 guys on Jefferson. Like you can't do that. You can't do that anymore. Like if you're gonna do that, Addison's gonna do what he's done the last few times. So if they cheat a little bit more to Addison, maybe JJ has a better game.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be a high scoring game. I think that's gonna be a game in the 30s or 40s.
I won't be surprised. But in the start sit video, I literally said Addison is the highest of the flex tier possible. But he still has had some fluctuation over the past couple of weeks, and it is a tough matchup on paper. But I'm just defending myself for a second. All right, we'll see what happens.
I think the first matchup gives us a little bit less concern, and it's at home, and it's at home indoors. That never hurts.
That is true. Ravens Commanders, don't ever start the Bengals. I don't care who they're playing.
It's too risky. It's way too risky.
Because they came up last week too, and I'm like, no, they're the defense 29 in fantasy. I think the schedule's semi like Cooper Rush, Will Levis, Jameis Winston, Bo Nix haters in week 17, but just no. I'm leading the Commanders and then the Ravens.
The Bengals are dead ass, like one blown coverage to Nick Westbrook-Ikine to giving up like a 70-yard touchdown. Like I could see him or Ridley on a blown coverage scoring a 60+ yarder, and it's like, oh, there goes my defense for the day. It's over.
Yeah, just no.
Don't do that to yourself.
No way. No way. Who would be the best lineup? Jalen or May? Jalen. Dowdle, both Seattle running backs. Then we got Stevenson, AJ Brown, JSN, Wilson, DK, Jameson, Kraft, and Pitts. Okay, so Jalen for sure. Start Kraft and just drop Pitts. It is a good matchup for Pitts this week.
It's never a good. He had a good matchup last week. He was wide open, it looked like, for a touchdown, and Kirk can't throw him the ball. Like, he overthrows an interception. Like, it's just, don't do it to yourself.
Yeah,
he had one hit him in the face. Pitts had one, like, for 15 to hit him right in the face, and he just dropped it. It was bad.
So those are the easy ones here. We'll go Dowdle against Carolina for sure.
Dowdle's been really solid.
Then I'd say whoever's healthy at running back for Seattle.
I feel like they run so much better with Charbs than they do with K9. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's a different look. As much as I love K9, they can't run with him.
There was a trend from like a ton of people who had picked up Kenneth Walker or Charbonnet off waivers, but didn't have Kenneth Walker, like tweeting Seattle coach or whatever and saying like, why is Kenneth Walker he should just not play? Like, why is Charbs not the starter? So yeah, it'll kind of be dependent on Kenneth's health here. But Stevenson has a good matchup, like an okay floor, but I'd rather go Kenneth or Charb. All right, receivers are tough here. I'll go JSN. I'm not benching JSN for the rest of the season. I'll still go AJ Brown. I'll go Garrett Wilson for a floor, J-Mo for upside. We'll leave it at that. DJ Moore or Jennings. I like both this week, but I'm going Jennings. You take away the Braylon Allen game or Brandon Allen, whoever it is, not Braylon Allen, and the Snow game. I mean, he's been dynamite, and it's a good matchup. It's going to be competitive. This could be a good Thursday night game. I'm telling you guys. I gotta go Jennings. I was low on Jennings last week. I'm not doing that again. JSN, Nico, Worthy, JMO pick 2. Nico and JSN.
Nico.
Knicks are famous Jameis. Knicks. Nick's a top 10 quarterback. He has a great matchup. Jameis is fun.
Yeah.
You know?
How do you want to live your life?
Yeah, I mean, all last week I said, you want to go Jameis, go for it. But, playoff kicker. Is Bucker back?
No, Butker is not back. I don't think he's back. He might be. Is he? No, I think he's only been out 3 weeks.
Is Moody playing?
Yeah, Moody's been the kicker for Frisco.
I really didn't even know.
So yeah, Bucker's dead. Pretty sure it's Wright. Wright's been really good for Kansas City. No distance, but it don't matter. I don't love matchup. Koo's probably got the best matchup indoors at Vegas. But man, Koo has just been so all over the damn place this year.
He's been butt.
I'd lean. I want to say Moody. I don't know. Let me have my rankings up here.
That's gross.
This isn't great. It means right. I wish that game was indoors. Yeah, I would probably go Moody here.
Has Moody been good?
I mean, he's been fine. Let's see what his last. He had the really bad game when he came back off the IR. He missed
that was bad.
Yeah, 1 million in a row, whatever it was.
It's gonna be. We just said it's gonna be a good game, so I guess we gotta go Moody, right?
I guess. But
unless it's the other Chiefs kicker, if he's out there and it's not
right,
Buster.
yeah. Let's see. I mean, he was 5 for 5 against Chicago. Made one field goal. He was 1 for 3 against Buffalo, but that's the snow. That doesn't count.
Oh, it counts.
It doesn't count. The Tampa Bay game was the bad game. He was 50%. He was 3 for 6, but he still made 3 field goals and 2 extra points. So he had a relatively decent game. Just I don't know. They don't kick a lot of field goals, San Francisco.
Yeah.
They're relatively safe.
Yeah, I would say if it's the other Chiefs kicker, then go him.
Yeah, go right. Even though it is in Cleveland, that is a little bit. My man almost missed a layup against the Chargers, so that got me a little nervous.
He's got that devil magic, dude. It'll just doink on in there. The refs were. You guys didn't see the refs pushing the goalpost to the left a little bit during that play.
I mean, if they were a foot further, he hits the upright fat. Hits. He doesn't even we've seen it hit the side of the upright and it's clearly in. He hits it kind of towards the front of the upright and it goes in still. It was oh, demon. It was good last week against the Vikings, but yeah. I mean, I guess Koo's your safe play. Moody for upside just because it's indoors, but I don't know. I can't get my hands around Koo. It's kind of like Justin Tucker this year. You've hurt me too much.
I'm going Moody. They're all kind of in a similar range, though.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of who the hell knows with those three.
Jennings. Oh, we already got this one. Whoa. Okay. Jennings. JSN, Wilson, JMO. We added Cup. We gotta go Cup and
Jennings,
but
JSN's good too. Yeah.
It's still Cup and Jennings, I think, though. Wanderer at the. I'm probably not saying that right. At the bottom of the chat. Thank you for the super chat. This is a good way to finesse the super chat system. You type your question as a normal chat, and then you just do, because the way super chats work, you have to pay basically for a certain amount of characters. So you just type this comment and then a blank super chat with $1. I like that. Would you flex Rico Dowdle over AJ Brown? Crazy to ask, but Panthers are #1 worst defense against the run. AJ Brown is 0 games over 20 and half PPR this year. Dang. Dowdle is getting 10 to 15. If you want to do it, do it. this is a time of year like you're looking at those things and you're saying, I think I should do this, and these are the stats, and this is the data. Then do it. Trust your gut, 100%. I still like AJ Brown this week, but it's not crazy. Dowdle's been solid, and he's playing the Panthers. So you've already answered your questions. So yeah, I say go for it, man. Thank you for the super chat. Patrick, flex BTJ or Waddle? Waddle's kind of back in the mix. And I this Texan, I'm going Waddle. Yeah. I mean, B-Tom's got the Jets, who still suck, but they're giving up the fourth fewest fantasy points to wide receivers. So I'm going Waddle this week. Jaden Daniels or Kyler Murray? I'm going Jaden Daniels. Yeah.
I'm sick of Kyler's nonsense.
Yeah, and it's like, once again, we said that last week. Like, he doesn't throw 2 picks. He's fine. Even if he just throws 1 pick, he's fine.
But he just throws the 2 picks.
He throws 2 picks.
And they're terrible interceptions. Like, what is he doing? Like, on our group checks, they were like, what is Kyler doing right now? You know,
he'll probably be. It is a good matchup. It is, but I'm like, I talked about this for the past couple of weeks. Jaden Daniels is a must-start quarterback, and the Saints are going to have a tough time. I know their defense is not banged up, but I'm going
coming off the bye though. Ooh, Jaden coming off the bye, his ribs might be healthy. We might see like that prime Jaden we had in the, weeks 4, 5, and 6, whatever.
I've seen that the past 2 weeks, or 2 starts, I should say. And he actually, I mean, he's rushed for 34 or more rushing yards as 2 starts and a rushing touchdown in each. So 28 or more fantasy points. I don't think you can afford to bench Jaden Daniels. The upside's way too high. Go Commanders. Tua, Darnold, or Burrow? Burrow. It's still Burrow. These are fantastic options, and anyone here could outscore each other, but it's got to be Burrow. Hawkinson or Kraft? I think we already got this, but Kraft. Sick of carrying Debo. I have Ladd, St. Brown, Thielen. Should I drop him for a second D or another receiver? It really, I mean, like, how bad do you need the second defense? What's the other receiver? It depends. Like, you could drop Debo if you want. If you're not going to start him, I have him as a sit this week, but like, it just depends on who you're dropping him for. They're still within reason. Like, Debo will probably have a good game somewhere. Are you dropping him for David Moore on the Panthers or Romadunze coming off a good game? He was a good matchup. Or Ray McLeod, who's been quietly kind of good the past 3 weeks. Or Keishon Butte, who's gives you nothing, So it just depends. Flex Amari or Tracy? I'm not ready to trust Amari Cooper. It's going to be really frustrating if he has another good game, and it is a good matchup, and it should be competitive. So if you like Coop this week, I don't want to talk you out of it. I can't trust Amari Cooper personally. But everything's there for him to have another solid game. I think Tracy's safer. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a bad matchup for Tracy, and DeVito might start because Locke's banged up.
That's not good. Yeah, they're much better with Locke at quarterback.
At least, yeah, they are. Tracy for a floor, Amari for upside, but risk. Should I sit Higgins for Amari? No, I'd still start Higgins here.
T. As soon as you said Higgins, it'll be the T show.
Yeah, I'm still going Higgins. What's your feeling on non-playoff teams using the waiver wire? Let them use it. 100%. See, this is why all my leagues, we have the toilet bowl. Well, Fab too. Yeah. But we have the toilet bowl, and you get your entry fee back if you win the toilet bowl. So it's a good thing if not are using the waiver wire. Like, your whole league is still competitive. Yeah, 100%. It shouldn't just be the 6 teams in, and then like, so what happens next week when teams are eliminated? Should just the teams who didn't get eliminated
Yeah.
and aren't playing for first place only use the waiver? Like, it shouldn't just be the top 6 teams get to use the waiver. Like, that's not it's an unfair advantage. You want the non-playoff teams to come in and take away those waiver potential players. So
Did you see that story about the guy who hadn't played all year and he was getting kicked out of his league? And he spent his $100 on Isaac Correndo and screwed everybody.
which is what he should do.
Yeah.
You know,
Someone said they think somebody who didn't have a lot of fab talked to him and got him to do that, so the teams he was going up against didn't have him in the playoffs. So it was even more collusion. I love it. Let's collude.
I don't even know if that's really collusion. Like, that's kind of loose. That's kind of like if he if he doesn't do it on his own, sure. But at the same time, it's like, and I don't know. It's a gray area, but still, like, those are the type of things that should be happening in leagues to a degree. But I did see that story. Ron Dereer at the bottom of the chat again. Would you play Rico Dowdle over Kamara? Ooh. No, I think I'm still starting Kamara. He's the one Saints player that I'll play because he's gonna get every dump off from. Yeah.
He might have 40 touches on the ground and in the air.
Yeah, might have 40 targets, literally. I'm still good with Kamara this week. Dowdle over AJ Brown, Kamara over AJ Brown. There's definitely an argument for sure. But yeah, I still want to start Kamara. He's still a top 5 running back in fantasy. What defense would you play for each week of the playoffs? Eagles, Broncos, Green Bay. Thinking Broncos week 15, Green Bay week 16, Eagles week 17. Yes, I agree with that. I believe Eagles are
Cowboys. They got the Cowboys week 17.
Yeah, they're my least favorite here. I think the Cowboys aren't good, but I mean, like, look at the Eagles against the Panthers this past week. Because I got a lot of questions about that. I'm like,
I mean, was Xavier Leggett the guy who bet $3,000 on the Eagles to win straight up? Because he should have caught that ball and won the game for the Panthers.
That is true. I try to get the Colts for week 17. They get the Giants, Titans, Jags. Coin flip there.
Love Green Bay in week 17 or week 16. Love them.
Yes.
They get the Saints in Lambeau on Monday night. That's just going to be a party.
Raiders Saints play week 17.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Commanders.
I don't hate the Chargers D, but you probably can't get the Chargers D.
Yeah. I mean, Eagles are fine, but I don't think they give you that like upside,
Titans Jags are playing each other again. Maybe the Titans would go with the Titans D again. Titans Jags.
Yeah, I think you can start either defense there. It's up in the air.
That was a great start this week for me. Tennessee better than New Orleans. I was going for New Orleans, and they were better than New Orleans this week.
There you go. McBride or Njoku. I'm still gonna go McBride, but
he would easily be the tight end one if he had any touchdowns to him.
Yeah, the stat is like he's gonna have the most receptions and receiving yards of any tight end with 0 touch. And I think it's just tight ends, but it may be of any receiver, but that might be wrong. Who had 0 touchdowns? So
it's crazy.
Oz just stealing defense is nice. A-Rich or Russ? Now there's a fantasy question right there. I mean, Richardson, I don't trust him, but he wasn't that bad in his last start. I don't trust him though. I'm going to go Richardson over Russ though. I'm very concerned about my guy Russ this week. I mean, he's throwing to Mike Williams, Calvin Austin, and Van Jefferson and Freiermuth. I mean, come on.
So just call Denver and Philly a push on defense. Richardson's got the higher upside because he could do something crazy. Like he could throw a 70-yard bomb, could run for 50 yards and a touchdown.
And at least
Russ ain't doing anything but throwing 5-yard passes here with those guys.
At least Denver's defense was bad the last time they played.
This is true. Now I'm assuming their secondary is going to get fixed a little bit.
It has to, right? Like, but
that guy, they got to have somebody else playing corner than whoever that guy was.
yeah, he was not good. I don't remember his name either, but what's up, Ghost Hunter? I'd like to apologize to the great and mighty Sam Darnold. I didn't know he was chill like that. From now on, I will never ask a question about starting him again. Hey, at least we told you to start him. Johnny Otten or Ingram. See, now we're getting into the same discussion about Johnny Smith. You start John, you have to start him. It is scary because he basically did nothing last week, but he also did everything. So the Texans are not bad against tight ends, but it's got to be Jonnu. It's got to be.
Bad matchup for Otten.
Who cares? It's got to be Jonnu. Nico Jennings, Amon Ra.
Nico, one of them. Got to play Nico.
People are like talking about sitting Amon Ra because the touchdowns haven't been there and he doesn't have a good playoff schedule. And I'm like, I just then why did you draft him? You know?
The problem is he doesn't get the targets anymore.
I know.
He only gets targeted on big conversions. Like he doesn't get those intermediate targets to, set up down and distance that he used to get. He's only getting like, oh, it's 3rd and 7. We need a first down. Here's Amon-Ra for 15. He doesn't get the red zone targets. I mean, I guess Tim Patrick's going to get all the damn red zone touchdowns.
He's still and they run the wide receiver 3. It's just so tough. I'd not disagree with anything you're saying. Yeah, they run the football a ton too.
It's so frustrating as an Amon-Ra owner. Luckily, I own Montgomery with the Amon-Ra, so it's like, okay, at least Monty gets the touchdowns usually.
Yes.
When they're running in there, but it is frustrating that your number 1 wide receiver is going to be like that.
Buffalo, Chicago, San Fran on the road against Chicago and San Fran.
Buffalo's a good matchup. Chicago could be a disaster because Jalen Johnson could take him away. It's outdoors. Goff could be terrible. We don't know, but the Bears are so bad against the run. Like they could just run the ball 50 times to not throw a pass.
The upside is with Nico and Jennings. But I have a very tough time benching Amon-Ra.
Nico for sure. Like Nico has a great matchup this week. He's good. He's the receiver 1 in my book. Like receiver 2, maybe if you want to say Chase. But Nico, if he didn't get hurt, he probably would be the receiver 1 this year.
I think Chase would still have it.
I don't know. Nico had a pretty big lead when he went down.
But some of these games Chase has put up now are like, I think they've separated him.
Nah, Nico got this. Nico got this.
He's 55 and 45.
Yeah.
41 in week 5. But Nico's been fantastic. Goff, Kyler, May. I'll go Goff for the floor, Kyler for upside. Not starting May over those two. Mayfield, Charbs, Patrick Taylor, Brown, Puka, McBride, Ridley, Higgins, Bates, Broncos. Stafford, Walker, Mooney, Jonnu, Brees. I mean, I'm still trying to start Walker or Brees if they play over Patrick Taylor, but that's the issue here is Taylor's going to get his chance potentially on Thursday, and then Hall and Walker play on the weekend. So that's tough. But your lineup's very good, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. Plus, okay, you got Charb, so I'm sorry. That affects Walker. I mean, I don't know if Brees is going to play.
I think he is.
I think they're just being whatever the word is about it, trying to be mysterious. Guys are already out of the playoffs. Just put them on IR, please. Let's just see what Isaiah Davis and Allen can do. But I don't think it's going to kill you this week. I know it's a very important week, obviously, but your lineup's very good. So now we got Mayfield versus Stafford earlier. That might be close. Kels, what are these teams? Nico, Cup, Wilson, Allen, J-Mo. That's a little bit better. It's Nico and Cup. Taylor, have Tracy, Cotter, White, B. Rob, Flowers, Neighbors, Judy, Mooney. Need 2 running backs and 2 flex. Connor and B. Rob. Flowers. I like him against the Giants. Oh, you need 3 flexes, actually. Judy and Neighbors. You want to sprinkle Rashad White in there over somebody that you don't like, I am not opposed.
It's just a bad matchup for him.
Yeah. Andrews or Ferguson? I'm going Andrews. I know Fergie's got the matchup, but I got a tough time mentioning Andrews.
I got a tough time playing Fergie. The way the Cowboys throw the ball to the tight end.
Stevenson, Tracy, Warren, pick one. I think I gotta go Stevenson. Safest floor. Usually it would be Tracy. Tracy he had double-digit targets this past week.
Yeah, he had a weird game.
10 targets. Touchdown. But the Ravens are significantly better than the Saints.
Saints are
against running backs. Saints are one of the worst teams.
Terrible matchup for Warren too.
Yeah, then if DeVito's a quarterback because Locke's hurt, they're not gonna do jack. So Stevenson gives you the floor. It's a good matchup. I'm still okay if you prefer Tracy. I'm not going Jalen Warren over these two. Jameis could throw for 1,500 yards between both his team and other team, and I would not bat an eye. No.
True.
Yeah. He
broke the. They said if you counted the yards on the pick sixes he threw, he definitely broke the single game passing record against Denver.
Yeah. Would not surprise me. Waddle or Metcalf? I'm going Waddle. Here's the thing. Am I going to be surprised that Metcalf has a big game? No. But I'm just going to take the matchup and the player who's been more productive and go Waddle. Starter 1 for the wide receiver, 2, and 1 for the flex. BTJ, Shakir, Reed, Garando, Westbrook, or Allen. Oh, we got this earlier. It's still BTJ and Shakir. Falcons. Now, the Falcons might not be as strong if O'Connell plays. So who else is out there? Because I also don't trust Kansas City. But if Desmond Ritter's starting, then Falcons. What's up, GT Sport? Nick Spurrier, Richardson, Knicks. QB8 gets a Colts. Great matchup. London, Allen, MH Jr., pick 2. Ooh, that's tough. That's a good question. I'm going to stick with London. He's been fine. No touchdown upside, but he's been fine. Do we like Keenan Allen versus the Vikings?
Probably. He had a pretty good game last time, I think, and he had a
balled
great game
out
when he was on the Chargers. We don't cover receivers.
Yeah. I think MH will have a decent game. He's got a good matchup.
He's got to have a touchdown. He didn't score last week. It's every other week he scores.
It's the pattern. Yeah, every other week he scores and he gets double digits, and weeks in between he doesn't score. He has single digits. Yeah. So actually, maybe it is Allen and MH because they give you the touchdown upside. But if you want a floor, it's probably with Drake Lendo. MH, Addison, Amari, or Garando. Pick 3, Addison. Garando if he plays, but I just don't think I think it's going to be MH, Addison, and Amari. Yeah. Richardson or Goff? Goff. What's up, J-Dubs? Just coming through here to talk smack about winning all the catch fam leagues. Is that all
he's
you got
tonight?
Winning
them all. Is
that all you got tonight, bro?
Yo, where's he in that auction league? He's terrible in the auction league.
I squeezed on in the auction league.
Oh, boo.
And I am so happy. I faced Spencer. I had a huge week. He could have knocked me out. And the points 4 got me in with the win.
You got to like that.
And this team deserves to be in because it has Bijan, Monty, and Derrick Henry. And you guys, everyone in the auction league, how was Jonnu Smith just available 2 weeks ago? and an open waiver period, like not an overnight, like I just had to go in and add him. He was right there. I'm very happy that I got him. However, in the Superflex League, I got knocked out. Finished 8th. We had a few 7-7 teams. And the Catch League number 1, you guys knocked me out. And I was number 1 in that league for a minute. But that's basically like Saquon Barkley was just carrying me. The rest of my team kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie. But anyways. J-Dubs, I talked about this earlier. I could have made it in 11 out of 16 leagues. Made the playoffs in 9 out of 16. Not too bad. And I do have a lot of best ball teams that advanced, but I'm not even going to look at them till next week or maybe even the week after. And a lot of them are in, like, I have 4 best ball mania teams in, which you are probably interested in, J-Dubs, but a lot of them are in like smaller turn. Like we did so many puppy drafts, the $5 entries. I had a lot of those advance into the playoffs. So we'll see. I don't get my hopes up though. Jason, AJ Brown, Jefferson, Jennings, BTJ. Yeah, JJ and Jennings. Yeah, trust your gut. Take them. But they're all good.
Quadruple J, baby.
Yeah, triple J. Wait.
Quadruple. Juwan
Quadruple.
Jennings.
You're right. 4 J's.
Quadruple J's.
Yeah. JJ. For flex, Lad or Rico. I mean, Lad if he plays, but Rico's a great fill-in for you, for sure. Start 2 full PPR Cup, London, MH Neighbors, Lad. Cup, Lad if he plays. If he doesn't, you could really go with any of these guys. Probably London for the floor. MH for upside. Neighbors, it's like if DeVito plays, no thank you. If it's lock, probably Neighbors. Kaden, do I start DeAndre Swift or one of the Niners running backs, Garando or Taylor? One of the Niners running backs.
Yeah, not a good matchup for Swift.
The Vikings are quite good against running backs, and
they've been bad the last 2 weeks though. But it's different. Swift ain't that kind of run. There's James Conner and Bijan Robinson. Swift ain't that kind of guy.
I have no faith in DeAndre Swift. Okay, we got this earlier. Tommy put up 218 points at my 10-team league last week. Any changes? Allen, I mean, that there's like 55 of your points, Tommy, okay? Gibbs, Kyron, JSN, Watson. I mean, very good lineup here. Johnson, good call. Charbs, great call. Great. Yeah, this is a great team last week. Dicker, Minnesota. I mean, I think Christian Watson could have another good week, but if you want to go BTJ or D-Hop, that's fine. I mean, this team's pretty loaded, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Even for a 10-teamer.
Charbs is your only weak spot if he doesn't, like, if K9 plays, but
yeah, but then you just throw in BTJ at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do like Christian Watson this week, but he's always risky.
It's a weird game. I have no idea what that game's gonna look like.
Yeah. You're gonna have to wait till the week kind of progresses here to see what happens with Charbs. But you have a good lineup no matter what, bro. Definitely a lineup that can get you through this week. Love or Murray. Honestly, I lean Kyler Murray.
Jordan Love hasn't been that good.
No, and like the other problem is Josh Jacobs has been so good. Like,
yeah, he gets all the touchdowns.
Yeah, like I think like if Love outscores Murray, would it shock me? No, but
it's Kyler Murray.
Kyler's had a better floor. Johnny, what's up, man? Start 2.5 PPR. Moore, Shakir, Evans, or Stevenson. Half PPR makes it tricky. I'd probably just go with the 2 guys have scored the most fantasy points this year, which is per game is DJ Moore and Evans. I think. Now that I think about
Shakir's been pretty good.
Shakir might, but now I'm trying to think of half PPR, like who scored the most touchdowns, and Shakir's probably lower He's been great in full PPR. He only has like 2 touchdowns on the year.
And he had one He had one. Should have had 2 last week.
Yeah. I'll fact check myself. He's had 3. That was his third. I think I go more in Evans and half PPR. Most of the time, I gravitate towards a running back, and I think Stevenson's fine, but I think more in Evans I'd start. All right, we got kicker
Never
the Dicker.
Tucker. Never Tucker.
Never Tucker. I feel like I'd stick with Dicker here.
Yeah, Dicker's fine. If you're really that worried about the Chargers offense, I get it, but Jim Harbaugh just kicks field goals, man. He does not pass up field goals. I was surprised he passed up 57 at Kansas City. Maybe it was a little too long for his taste, but Sanders also a really good option out of these guys. Do not trust Cade York. He's terrible. Zane Gonzalez is fine, but what is Washington might score 1 million points on? They just might score touchdowns. Don't trust Cleveland and Hopkins. Sanders or Dicker here. I'd lean Dicker for the safer play. Sanders for the upside.
I agree. I keep overlooking Sanders, and I do really like Sanders, but I agree. Dicker for the floor, Sanders for upside. All right, start 3. DK, Judy, Ridley, Debo, Thielen. Judy, Ridley, Thielen.
That's crazy. That is crazy. We were at that point.
Yeah, it really is.
Tebow, DK, not startable against this 3.
Yeah. I would rank those 3 tight ends as Kraft, Henry, Jawan Johnson. Sup, Prey? How are you? Would you finish 3rd? Whatever league this was where you guys were talking all your smack, I was sucked in that league, so I just stayed quiet. I will say, like, other than the 2 leagues that I got knocked out of this past week, and there's one where I was like, okay. The other 3 or 4 leagues, whatever it is, so it would have been 3 leagues. I was like bad. Like my team just sucked, mostly due to injury. That's my excuse. But Kels, Chuba, Wilson, JSN, JMO. I'll go JSN, but Chuba, you won't go Chuba. You can't. He does get the Cowboys. They suck against the run. I think I'm still going JSN, but it's definitely close there.
Ton of volume for JSN. Chuba just might get the touchdown.
Yeah, you want to go Chuba? I'm not against it. Pray JD5 or Mayfield JD5. Better matchup. And he's been better. Tommy, drop Minnesota for any of these defenses. I think the Commanders give you the most upside this week. The Ravens give you more upside this week. The Broncos have a higher floor than Minnesota this week. I would not drop them for the Falcons or the Jets because it looks like O'Connell's going to play. If he doesn't, then I'd probably honestly keep the Vikings still.
The Vikings have a great matchup next week too against Seattle.
But if you want the upside, go
Commanders.
I think
Ravens.
you risk it. Commanders Ravens are the upside plays this week. Broncos are a good floor, but then their schedule gets tough. Javonte, Madison, and Chard, pick one. Charb. What are you doing, Prey? If just go Charb.
Never Madison. That's the answer. Never
yeah, Madison. Like if Walker plays and you're like freaked out, I think I'd still just risk Charb, honestly. Like he had standalone value the week before when Walker was still playing.
Yeah, he had 12.
Pick one, Tillman or Xavier Leggett. I was kind of out on both this week in the video. It's a complete gamble. Tillman, and like people are like, oh my, like you're gonna sit Tillman. I'm like, yeah, probably. I mean, it's the first round of the playoffs. He's still in concussion protocol. Like, his last full game, he only had 7 points in a good matchup, and then he got hurt the next week. Like, I'm not looking at the game he got hurt, you know. I think I'll go Leggett for a floor, but Tillman might not even play. It's a crapshoot. Patrick Taylor, fine, but we got to see if Garando plays. I don't think he's going to play, but fine. But like, I'm not expecting a miracle out of Patrick Taylor. Darnold or Goff is Sammy Darnold. You already know. I mean, what else do I need to say about Sam Darnold? Like, he's probably going to have a low week somewhere. It could happen. He only has 3 games left in the fantasy season, but QB7, single digits twice on the season, really 15 or less points 3 times on the season, 17.2 every other game, 2 or more passing touchdowns in every game since week 8, except for week 10 against the Jags for some reason, and 19 or more points in 4 straight games. Like, it's just Darnold. You got yourself a gold mine. You didn't draft him unless you're a genius or a Vikings fan. And even Vikings fans don't draft him, apparently. Now, Goff does have the nice game script here, but it's Darnold. It's Darnold. I got to go on a Sam Darnold rant, like, once every hour.
Yeah, I would go on Sam Darnold rant too.
Full PPR have Puka, Mooney, Debo, Hunter Henry, and Freiermuth. There's nothing else. Start Puka for sure. Mooney's a risky play. Debo is you could drop him. You don't have to start him. And I go Henry for a floor, Freiermuth for upside.
Same.
But let me see here because the chat's doing the weird thing. So maybe. Okay, so this is what he meant to type. Okay, I see now. Full PPR, Tracy, Debo, Freiermuth, or Henry in the flex. I go Tracy. Like, I'll just, at least he got the targets and like gets the goal line work. There's always garbage time. I'll go Tracy. Hold Minnesota and drop. Are you ever going to start Nick Westbrook Akide? You guys, you got to look deep into your soul. You got to ask, do you trust him? If you don't, just move on. He does play the Bengals this week. But if you want to drop him and pick up another defense, Tommy, so you can have that floor option in the Vikings and an upside option to stream, go for it.
Tommy can't play the Vikings D against the Seahawks, though, next week. Sure. Can't do that to himself.
You got to get a streaming option next week, Tommy.
Even though it's a great matchup because they don't block. Seattle.
Russ or Purdy? Got to go Purdy. Gotta go Purdy. Russ got no one to throw to. Pickens gonna be out. Tough matchup. Go Purdy. Good matchup. He's got
Brock looked healthy too last week. Like he was dealing.
Yeah, he's that was one of my concerns, but that's a good point. He's good. He's good to go. He's slinging that thing. Michael, in regards to my previous question about dropping Debo for a second defense or another receiver, have Chargers defense. I would drop Debo, put in a claim for Washington or Ravens or Josh Palmer. I have Ladd. I think all those moves are totally worth doing it. So, especially if you're not starting Debo, then yes. The Chargers defense, I don't personally trust them from a fantasy standpoint. In the past 4 weeks, show why. 3 points, 0 points, 20 points against Kirk Cousins, 3 points. So, they have a decent schedule. Tampa Bay, Denver, New England, like Baker has been turning it over. Bo Nix is not a great matchup. Then Drake May, like, so, but yeah, I would do this from you. Broncos versus Cincy, Eagles versus Cowboys, Titans versus Jags, Hawks versus Bears, week 17. It's the Eagles for a floor, Titans for upside. Seahawks probably also an okay floor. Do we trust Cade Otton this week? I mean, trust is a strong word, but he gives you a floor every week. I think I left him as a start, but it is a tough matchup, but he's probably closer to like a streaming option.
Yeah, I think he was an ad. He might have been an ad this week.
Yeah, it's
not a great matchup.
Yeah. So he's fine. But yeah, I mean, like, trust. I don't know if I trust him. just hasn't quite been there. And like, he was good this past week, but it was a great matchup. He only had 4 catches. MD, HD, HD, HD. I'm in a must-win underdog game in Yoffs in the playoffs. Need a receiver and a flex. Devonta, Marvin, J-Mo, Addison. We're definitely starting Addison. The other one's so tough. I mean, this is one like you could think about it all week. You know, you could any of these guys can outscore each other. I'm actually starting to like Marvin Harrison Jr. a lot this week. It just feels like it should happen. Patriots are 20th against the position. Steelers are 7th. And Bills are tough to read because of what just happened this past week. But I think they've moved back to 8th. They are 8th against receivers. Not really a good matchup for those other guys, other than Marvin. So, and the Bears are 5th for what it's worth for Addison, but nobody seems to care about that.
He had a great because they've already played. That's the whole thing. They've already had the matchup. Plus, everybody's in love with Sam Darnold.
Yeah, finally, it's only. I mean, you know, we've been hyping him up for weeks, right? We at least even somewhat talked about him in the offseason.
It was tongue in cheek, very much so. But yeah, he's been last 5 games, guys. He's been an MVP quarterback.
He is
lights out.
Let's
chill. I have Josh Allen's on my fantasy teams, a couple of them. I'm feeling okay with Josh Allen with the MVP.
Yeah, the other one's really tough. You'll probably go back and forth through it throughout the week, but I think the most upside is MH and Addison. Neighbors, Waddle, Metcalf, and Y. Really tough decision. Neighbors potentially if Locke plays, but I'm gonna go Waddle. Waddle's been great. Tua's been great. Hill's been great, and they have the matchup here. So I'm going Waddle. It's all there for him. It's safe. There's upside. The quarterback plays great. Everyone around him, Devon A, Shane, Johnny Smith, everyone's playing great. Texans 29th most points to wide receivers. It's got to be Waddle. Safest play and the most upside. Washington defense or Arizona? Give me Washington. Redskins, Cowboys or Cardinals defense this week? Let's go with the Redskins. Waddle or Tracy? Waddle. Hit the like your team will touch the block, punt, and lose. Jeez. Perfect way for the Cowboys season.
That was peak Cowboys right there.
You know, I don't think they panned to Jerry Jones's face after. I don't know if I saw that, but I really wish they did. I think they were more focused on Micah Parsons. DJ Moore.
Micah was like, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't do anything. It's like, Micah's getting out of there, man. He wants no part of this team.
DJ Moore or Neighbors? I'll go DJ Moore. Neighbors fine. If Locke plays. He was not. I mean, he was fine when DeVito played, but it's a tougher matchup this week. So, BTJ, AJ Brown, Pacheco, or Jonnu? I'm probably going AJ Brown here, but I think BTJ is startable. Not ready to throw Pacheco in yet. I think I'd still start BTJ and AJ Brown over Jonnu. Tommy, you had a great matchup. I was trying to do the math, and even without Josh Allen, you would have at least had like 175. So you had a very good lineup. Good work. Joe the Toe. Brees, Judy, or MH? Judy. Half PPR. Probably still Judy. I don't know if I trust Brees this week. I just don't know. Two on waivers, but I have to drop Goff. Yeah, I'd take two over Goff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Atlanta or Arizona. I think I lean Arizona. I'm starting to like Atlanta less because
O'Connell's gonna play. Aiden's gonna play.
and the problem is we probably won't really know until like late in the week. If it's Desmond Ritter, then I really like Atlanta. If it's not, then I'd rather start Arizona.
Atlanta's so weird on defense. Like they have a pass rush all of a sudden. Like the last 2 weeks, they've actually gotten to the quarterback, but they can't cover anybody. Kirk puts them in bad situations, throwing picks. It's just
Their secondary is so bad.
So bad.
They're still good against the run, but Mario Jacoby. See, once again, this is tough because it's Jacoby if O'Connell plays. If not, I guess it's Amari. But I still overall like Jacoby more. I just don't trust Ritter at quarterback.
Does anybody?
What's up, Chase? Stafford or Purdy? I'm going Purdy. Better matchup. Give me Purdy. Start Garando by default if he plays. The debate between Taylor, Brees, Jacoby. Yeah, a lot of variables. Who's the quarterback for Jacoby? Is Brees even playing? Is Garando playing? But I don't think it's crazy to go Jacoby there. But once again, it depends on if O'Connell plays or not. Darnold or Knicks? Darnold. I was trying to see Pete's face, but Darnold. I still like Knicks a lot, and Knicks has a great matchup. But the data still supports Darnold. Henry or Freiermuth?
Ooh.
I'll say Henry for a floor, Freiermuth for like risk.
And touchdown potential. Like he's been getting in the end zone.
He had like 4 catches. I know he scored this past week, but I'm just growing increasingly worried about the Steelers. Pick up McCorb or Bigsby. McCorb. Sincere McCormick?
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I'll go McCormick over Bigsby, but they're both playable this week. But McCormick has more you got like 7 running backs you could potentially play for the Raiders. So, and Bigsby might get you like double digits, or he might get you like 6 points. Waddle, Bucky, Chuba, Rico start 2. Oh, Taylor, that's tough, bro. Chacho. I'm in on Waddle this week. I am. And I'm very in on Chuba. I'm also very in on Rico, and I don't want to give up on Bucky, but he has a tough matchup and a new injury. Hip and back. I think I got to go Waddle and Chuba, though. That's tough. I almost never bench running backs against Carolina. Jennings or Thielen?
I like it.
I'm still going Jennings, but I like Thielen a lot. Bucky or JT? Oh, man. I think JT. I'm very worried about Bucky. He should have not played this past week. It's a tough matchup. And like they don't need Bucky to win this game. They got Rashad White, but they also have Sean Tucker, you know?
They also can't run against the just really hard to run against the Chargers on top of it. Probably going to have to throw to win this game.
Yeah, Chargers secondary's been up and down.
We need the Chargers to win this game. That's all that matters.
That's a tough. This could really go either way. I don't like a week ago. Like I was, you will never bench Bucky Irving again. Like I said that in the video. It's the injuries on top of it, though. Like the matchup, if he was healthy and had double digits last week, I'd say screw it to start Bucky. But like it's a hip injury and a back. Like those are weird injuries. Chat, who would you guys start? Bucky Irving with a hip and back injury if he plays against the Chargers, or JT? Let Chase know he's one of the first 50 subscribers to this channel, 100 subscribers to this channel of all time. Do it for Chase in the chat. Bucky or JT this week? I'm trying to get McCormick off waiver, says Tommy. Would you flex him over C-Watt, BTJ, or D-Hop? Or if K9 plays, I can swap Charbonnet with McCormick. I would not start McCormick over C-Watt, BTJ, or D-Hop, Tommy. But he's a good pickup for you for your depth at running back if you have an emergency. Moore or Mooney? I'm going to go Moore. I know Mooney had the big game. It was a good matchup. I'm going to stick with DJ Moore. Good matchup for him this week.
He's playing the team Mooney just had a good game against.
Exactly. What is that team?
I don't know. Team with 11 wins. That's all I know.
Otner, Laporta. I think I like Laporta. I was a little down on Laporta in the start sit video, and I kind of regretted it. I mean, he's been pretty solid. He has had some inconsistency, and he missed that one game. I think I go Laporta. He's getting the looks right now.
This game could also just be a track meet. Like we could be very similar to the Rams game. We could be in the 40s again.
Yeah. Moody, Reed, or Shakir? It's Shakir. You already know. Is that it? Chat, if you own Jaden Reed, are you ever going to start him again?
Reed with a 30-point burger, 30 bomb coming in.
I mean, he could. I was surprised. I was waiting for like hate comments because I told a lot of people to start Reed. And like, he had 2 touchdowns a week before. It was a great matchup. 1 target.
The Packers have the goofball receiving core of the Packers will never.
It's got to be the most frustrating.
It's for fantasy. It's the most frustrating. It's hilarious for everybody else because like, you got a bunch of idiots out there.
Remember Wicks?
Yeah, they have no number 1 wide receiver. They have a bunch of guys running around out there.
Yeah,
figure it out.
Who's the RB to pick up if Garando doesn't play? Patrick Taylor. But like, don't be surprised if Shanahan involves somebody else.
Kyle Juszczyk starting running back, baby.
Honestly, I think he would, but he had that fumble the other week, so he still might. They probably
George
still trust
Kittle.
Him.
We'll put Kittle in the backfield. We'll do anything.
He might as well.
They could just go back to Debo, just straight running back.
Right.
Can't get him the ball in the passing game.
I know. Who would you rather try to claim off waivers, Freiermuth or Ertz? Ertz for sure. Ertz. If Ertz got dropped due to the bye week and he's in your league, pick him up. Hurts or Daniels?
Ooh, this is tough. Lean Hurts, but Daniels has the higher upside.
Fair. We'll go with that. Hurts for the floor, Daniels for upside. It's kind of a tough defense to run against, so we could see more out of Hurts.
I just like a million tush pushes. Like Philly gave Saquon the ball at the 1-yard line. He didn't score. He's never getting it again. They're just gonna tush push every time now.
Yeah. Can I drop Fergie if I have Andrews? Yeah, if you have Andrews, like you're good. The bye week, like you can just start Andrews. I've been saying this for weeks. Like you can just start him. You're good to go. I have Cup and Puka, first round of playoffs. I don't know if I want to. Why?
Start them both.
Why? They had a tough matchup last week. They've combined for 2 single-digit games since they both returned in week 8. Why? Don't overthink this. These are the best players that you have. It doesn't matter that they're on the same team. If one of them has a lower ceiling, like so be it. But they both just had 20 plus points. For Ridley or Cooper, no. Garando or Pollard? I really don't think Garando's going to play, guys. I don't. And Pollard's a fine replacement. If Garando plays, it's pretty close, but I just don't think he's going to play. Rashad White also ran the ball extremely well this Pat. That's right. Because he's the best. Thank you, Taylor.
It's just a bad matchup.
Yeah. But Rashad White can do anything, if you guys don't know.
If you believe in it.
Yes, if we believe in him, all things are possible if you believe in Rashad White. My running backs are Kyron Taylor, Brees, Garando. Wide receivers are Tyreek, Chase, Jacoby. Do you really risk your fantasy team on a 1 week wonder or go with your known commodities? I don't think Garando's going to play again. I think you go with your known commodities, so to speak. He missed practice today and yesterday is the latest report. So that means tomorrow's Wednesday. He has to practice tomorrow. And tomorrow's going to, I think it's probably like a walkthrough practice, right? I don't really know how it works before.
I think Monday was the walkthrough, so they didn't do anything.
Oh, it is they are at home, so I guess that helps his case. But I think you're probably starting Kyron and Taylor. And I'm telling you guys, I'm not going to answer a Breece Hall question straight up this week. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. The matchup's there. If he plays, I think it's very. I just don't know. Yeah, but I mean, for what it's worth, Garando was great this past week. I just really don't think he's going to play. I've never sprained my foot, so I don't know.
I don't even know how you sprained your foot.
I don't. I mean, I'm not an athlete, so. As good as AJ Brown is, don't underestimate Joey Porter Jr. He's been fantastic this season.
There's no such thing as a top 5 corner for the next decade.
No,
that shelf life is way too short at that DB position.
Yeah, I mean, like Sauce Gardner's hasn't even been playing that great this year.
Think about how fast Stephon Gilmore fell off.
Yeah, I mean, we could sit here and name like 5
a million corners. Next 5 years, yeah. Next 10, no shot.
Yeah. Even Ramsey's been very good this year, but Ramsey's been very up and down since he was shut down. We could name a lot of guys. It's just so hard, It is like we haven't seen.
It's a young man's game out there to keep up with those guys.
Yeah. Darrelle Revis is probably truly the last.
He was a safety. No, I didn't read in my head. I'm thinking Ravens. Yeah, Darrelle Revis, but it's still he was bad and then good and then bad again. He had that weird fluctuation going on.
Who? Champ Bailey.
Yeah, this is different. These are different. This is a different era of the NFL, guys. Wide receivers are just a problem now.
They are.
Like we got dudes running around 4.2s out there. It's hard to stay up with them.
But Joey Porter Jr. has been very good this year. It's a good point.
Next 5 years, yeah. I'll give you the next 5.
Falcons, Chiefs, or Jets? No. Okay, we can only start the Falcons if Desmond Ridder plays. I'm not happy if it's O'Connell. Commanders, good option. Ravens, good option. I'd rather start the Chargers. I'd rather start the Broncos. I'd rather start the Cardinals. I'd rather risk the Seahawks or Packers in that matchup. Steelers, Eagles. I'd even I'll take the Steelers on the road at the Eagles. Vikings against the Bears. I'm not doing Chiefs or Jets. Sure, okay, and I guess the Jets, if it's really these 3. No, I don't know if I can do the Jets. They had 16 points against Seattle 2 weeks ago. It's Mac Jones. I do not trust the Jets defense.
I do have to laugh on that last one. my famous reaction to the draft 2 years ago when we took Addison and I was upset with the pick. It was because I wanted Joey Porter Jr. So it feels like I knew what I was talking about with which guy we were going to give. I just laughed.
I remember that happening. I remember that.
Yeah. I was like, it's not. I think Jordan Addison's going to be great, guys. I think Joey Porter Jr. is going to be a lockdown corner, and we need a lockdown corner. As you see, the Vikings can't cover anybody still.
You guys do need that. Zach Ertz or Otten? Zach Ertz.
Ertz. God, what year is it? Zach Ertz is a dog again.
He's a dog. Elijah Moore or Mooney. Moore for a floor, Mooney for upside. Mooney's so tough to call, and Elijah Moore's tough to call. Like, these guys are very sporadic. Start 2, A-Chain White, Allen or Garando. A-Chain and Rashad White. For sure. I have like a lot of DMs on Discord. So if I look, I will answer you, Tommy. I have not checked Discord in a while. Is TJ Watt the best defensive player in the league? Minka Fitzpatrick best safety, Steel Curtain best D. Miles, are you a Steelers fan?
He's got to be a Steelers fan.
Steelers fan? Great defense. Yeah, I mean the rules definitely play. It's a different era. Let's leave it at that.
The wide receivers are also a problem, guys. Like,
they're
a problem,
and it's a lot of different positions. It's just different. Tua or Darnold. Those two are pretty close for me this week. I think I'll go Tua. It's very close. But I think it's a more
safer.
It's a more drastic game for the Dolphins, and that Texans secondary is just so bad. I like both a lot this week.
The Vikings could be like done on Monday though. Like the Rams lose, the Seahawks lose, they clinch a playoff spot, and if the Lions beat the Bills, they're not winning the division. So like the Vikings can kind of like check out that they're probably going to be the 5 seed. At that point.
I'll go Tua, but it's very close. Lutz, McLaughlin, and or any not popular option based on matchup. Oh, I think Lutz is okay.
Lutz is a sneaky guy this week. Yeah. I really like Lutz this week. He's kind of a sneaky play.
Him or if it's him or McLaughlin, there'd have to be somebody pretty good hiding out there. So, Wright, yeah, I mean we like Wright as well.
I'm getting nervous. After that last kick, I'm nervous now.
Sure.
Right.
Pete's kicker rankings video will come out tomorrow for you guys. So, can you do a quick top 5 defense ranking?
It's almost like I have a video.
I may have done a video on that earlier in the week already, but I mean, I guess it's not really a ranking. I guess it's just like streaming. I like the Broncos against the Colts a lot. I think the Vikings will still have a safe floor, but not a lot of upside against the Bears. Falcons, I like as a stream with risk if it's Ritter at quarterback. If it's O'Connell, not so much. Jags versus the Jets are a sneaky option if you get desperate. Ravens versus Giants, a very good option. Commanders versus Saints, I am like all in on. They have a lot of upside. Those are the main defenses I would try to play. The Chargers are a good floor. The Cardinals are good floor. Packers, Seahawks, there's opportunity. Obviously, Steelers, Eagles, there's opportunity. So those are the main defenses I would look at. Like and subscribe right now. Do it.
Hit the like button.
It's unsubscribe and resubscribe right now.
Boost the numbers.
Addison or Najee full PPR. I would lean Addison, but I like Najee a lot. Very, very safe floor. All right, guys, we're going to be wrapping up over the next minute or two as we're about to hit the 2-hour mark. So don't forget, guys, we're going to have all of our videos coming out throughout the week. Already have start sits out for running backs and wide receivers, must start defenses and streams. Waiver wire video for the early portion of the week for you guys. Pete's Kickers rankings will drop at some point tomorrow. Then we'll roll into all of our end of the week content. And you guys can always drop a comment on any of the videos, and I'll be answering as many comments as I possibly can. it's gotten to the point where I cannot keep up with the comments, so I'm doing my best. But we'll have a stream again on Saturday at the end of the week for you guys too. So Waddle or Devonta? I mean, you guys know I love me some Devonta Smith, but I'll take Waddle this week. Matchup's better. Darnold or Richardson rest of the season? Darnold. Please. Just go Darnold. He's a QB7. Richardson is a complete dart throw every week. If Brees is out and Ritter starts, Jacoby or Braylon in the flex? Braylon. Yeah, I'll go Braylon. If it's AOC at quarterback, I'll go Jacoby. Devin, thank you. We appreciate you. And it looks like we're going to wrap it up. So thank you guys so much for all the fantasy questions tonight. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for talking fantasy. And good luck this week in the playoffs. Like I said, tons of content coming out throughout the week. So let's get it. Playoffs are here. Pete, I'll let you sign off and we'll get out of here.
Yep, playoff time. We made it. I can't believe the season's basically already over. Sad day for us, but be sure to check out all the videos. Try and answer in the comments. Kickers out tomorrow. Quarterbacks and tight ends, like literally right as this stream ends, probably going up the very second.
Dropping at 12:30. I changed it from 12 to 12:30, so it'll be out in like 10 minutes for you guys.
All right, so I'm just gonna drag it out here. No, yeah, be sure. Good luck this week, guys. Unless you're playing me, I think I only have one playoff game in the Catch family. I have a bye in another league, so whoever's playing me this week, I hope you lose by 100. But everybody else, good luck.
There you go. Is Jason Myers a good option this week? I feel like he's always fine. Good floor. Good floor, right?
Yeah, he's whatever. He's always a whatever. Just fine.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for the fantasy questions, and we will talk to you guys soon. Everyone have a great Wednesday. And with that, we'll say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, saw it here on the Catch. And peace.